Hello everybody and welcome back to part 3 of the Tough Mudder Challenge. I thought that it was about time that I finally made this video and tell you guys about the last few obstacles that were pretty fucking brutal. So we'll just get into it. I think the last thing that I told you guys about was that small story about my boss going through the water, his legs seizing up, me making it through it soon after. So the next obstacle in the final four of like the really grueling things, it was called the electric eel. Basically what you're doing is something similar to Kiss the Mud, you know, where you're kind of crawling through the mud. The only difference is now you're doing that and it has probably like 2 or 3 inches of water on top of it, and it's all on top of plastic, so it's pretty slippery and stuff like that in there. Also, instead of just, you know, barbed wire above your head, it is live electrical wires hanging down. And this is no joke. They are 10,000 volts, something like that, 10,000 volts. But what you guys need to keep in mind is 10,000 volts maybe sounds like a lot, but it's all about like the actual current that's going through it. So it's not a very high current. So something like that wouldn't kill you. It'll zap you. It might knock you out for a second, but it's nothing serious. Getting hit with a taser is more dangerous than this. So bad things can happen if you have a pacemaker or metal parts in your body or something like that. But they strongly advise that if you have those things that you don't do these challenges, which is completely understandable. So I got up to it and I actually ended up skipping it. I saw a guy trying to get out on the other end and he got zapped a few times and he went face first in the water and just wasn't moving, and it freaked me out, and that's not something that I want to deal with. I can, you know, do the distance, do these, you know, very tough, grueling obstacles, but when it's life or death, or what seems like life or death, I couldn't do it. So I skipped past this one, and it's a good thing. My mom and my girlfriend, they came and watched, and they told me that probably maybe like a half hour to an hour before I got up to that obstacle, a man had passed out in the middle of it all. So, you know, there's no way that people can just start pulling him out. Passed out in the middle of it, face down in the water for a good 10 seconds. He was actually just completely out, and somebody that was next to him basically withstood the shocks, I guess you could say, and basically like ran over to him while in the obstacle to get his face out of the water. It was pretty serious, and I'm glad I didn't hear that before I went through it, because I wouldn't have went through it. Like, it wouldn't have even been like a question. I wouldn't have done it. The only reason I didn't do it, you know, originally was because I had seen something like that happen. Had I heard about it before I had even seen something like that, I would have just never did it, and I wouldn't have even thought about it. So that was the electric eel. The next obstacle, which right after the electrical eel, we were passing this obstacle because you have to do this huge, like probably like 3/4 mile loop, and then you come back. As we were passing this obstacle, it was closed. It was closed because apparently there was a leak underneath. This obstacle is called Funky Monkey. It is a very large monkey bar obstacle. So as we were passing it, it was closed. And as we come back all the way around, you know, in our heads, we're like, all right, it's closed. Ow, I just hit my hand on my desk, and that really hurt. As we're coming around, you know, we're thinking, all right, it's closed. We'll be fine. We'll just move on to the next one. We'll stay dry, and we're almost done. Well, as soon as we come around to it, basically there's staff there basically saying, if you fall in the water, do not, you know, be sure to stand up. It is very shallow and you can hit your head on the ground. Be sure to do it standing up if you fall into the water. So unfortunately they fixed it, but at the same time, luckily they fixed it, and instantly I'm just like, alright, well shit, I'm completely soaked right now. We do everything possible, you know, kind of dry off. There's there's dry grass everywhere, there's dirt, and you just kind of dry off as much as possible to do this. And I had batting gloves on because they don't lose their stick when they get wet. When they get super soaked, they don't really work that well. So I actually took them off and put them in my pockets, and started drying my hands off. And then I kind of gave the obstacle a look over and just finally did it, which was actually really hard because this metal, or at least the bars that I was on, no one had actually gone on them yet. So there was no mud, there was no water on them. They were extremely dry and actually like gave me like blisters all over my hands. But I actually made it across. I made it across without falling in, so I was super excited. No one on my team had made it across without falling in of the people that actually got to do it, because it was closed for a long time. So not everyone got to do it. I luckily got to do it and I made it, so I was super stoked. Oh, I'm like hitting everything at my desk right now. So yeah, once again, super stoked. And then we move on to the next obstacle. The next obstacle is called Everest. And Everest is a very big, you know, viewer-friendly thing. People basically will sit around that all day just to watch that one obstacle, or they'll sit around the final obstacle that I'm getting to in a minute. So Everest is I want to say it's probably around 15 foot high quarter pipe that you need to run up, which is, in your head, you know, that might sound really easy. If any of you guys skate or anything like that, you're like, oh yeah, half pipe, that's no problem. It's not easy. It wasn't easy. But luckily I found, because we're on like a gaming reserve or something like that, there's like shotgun shells all over the place, like spent shotgun shells, and I found one on the ground, so I cleaned out my shoes as much as possible, got as much mud out of it as possible. You know, I took a little bit of time to actually do all this, and one of my teammates goes and he makes it up the wall, and I was like, all right, get you know, kind of get hyped, get stoked for this. And he's up there and he's got his arms kind of hanging down, just, you know, if I need it. You know, that's the whole point, is you have teammates up there, they'll help you pull you up if you need it. And I actually finally went, and I'm coming at the wall, and I go at it pretty damn good, I would say, for having very, 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 very sore legs that cannot move at this time. I actually made it up first try. My teammate was up there and did help pull me up. I didn't need the help, but because he was there, I'm not gonna say no to help, obviously. So my teammate pulls me up, and then my coworker Scott's right behind me, and he's trying to get up, and he had fallen at Funky Monkey, so he was completely soaked again, and it was very, very difficult to pull him up. I tried so hard. We finally got him on his third attempt, like hanging, and there's like military people up there like trying to help us pull him up, and he's just super soaked. But he finally got up, and then we move on to the final obstacle. The final obstacle is called electroshock therapy. It's the exact same thing as the electric eel, except there are more wires, and you have to run through this. And there's hay bales in there, so you have to jump over hay bales. Well, some people get zapped right away. Some people make it through just fine. It all really depends, because not every single wire is live. Only some of them are. And so my one of my teammates, he goes and he makes it through. He kind of slips up at the end, gets covered in a little bit of mud. You know, big deal. No. What happened was he got zapped in both of his shoulders, like at the same time, and just kind of flopped over. Then I went right after him, and I kind of saw like a little gap in the wires and stuff like that. So I'm going, and I make it over the first bale, I make it over the second hay bale, and I slipped after I made it over the second one. So I like slipped in the mud, and just like in my head I'm thinking like, fuck, I gotta get up, I gotta go now. And all these wires are like right at my face. So I basically scramble to get up, and go, and literally the last wire, the last one, just fucking touches my shoulder and zzz, out, face into the fucking mud, and I didn't even feel it. Like, I had no idea what happened. I just got zapped, hit my face basically, because I was already like really low to the ground, so I didn't have far to go. And literally, like, right after I hit the ground, like, I just kind of got up and ran, like, straight to the finish. And then right when you get to the finish, they give you your Tough Mudder headband, and it was epic. It was a glorious finish. There's actually a picture of me that I will link in the description, so you guys can check it out. It's actually right before I get zapped. So yeah, that was the Tough Mudder challenge that I had accomplished a few weeks ago, that I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I hope that maybe you guys had found a location that you guys can go to, and you guys can experience the fun and the excruciating pain that is Tough Mudder. Alright guys, if you liked the video, be sure to leave a like. It definitely, you know, helps me to know that you guys enjoyed what you're seeing. Also, on the left hand side, you can hop over to Borderlands Let's Play that I'm a part of. I'll throw you over to the playlist, the whole playlist, in case you haven't seen any of it. And on the right hand side of the screen, I will send you over to 2v Tuesdays. That might have been late. This is being recorded before 2v Tuesdays, so it's probably going to be late. But I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.